Leon had been staring for exactly 47 seconds before he realized his mistake. The neural interface in his temple had been cataloging the structural impossibilities of the Valerian woman's form, the way her crystalline exoskeleton refracted light at angles that shouldn't exist in three-dimensional space, how her limbs articulated through joints that seemed to phase in and out of observable reality. Then she turned, and her smile was unmistakably knowing. "So, you like my body?" Her translator rendered the words in perfect English, though her actual speech sounded like wind chimes in a hurricane. Leon's face burned. I'm a xenobiologist. Professional observation. Of course. The Valerian's name was Elsa, according to the diplomatic briefing. She moved closer, her crystalline features catching the overhead lights of the space station's observation deck. "And professionally, what do you observe?" He cleared his throat, trying to salvage some dignity. "Your skeletal structure violates at least 4 principles of biomechanics as we understand them. The energy required to maintain your form should be impossible," Elsa suggested, that same amused tone threading through her words. "By human standards, yes." She laughed, and it sounded like breaking glass rearranging itself into music. "This is why we find your species so fascinating, Leon. You see impossibility and immediately begin calculating how to make it possible. You see something that shouldn't exist and ask why instead of running away." Leon blinked. "Is that unusual? In this galaxy?" "Exceptionally." Elsa gestured toward the viewport where dozens of alien vessels from the Galactic Assembly hung in formation. Most species, when they achieved faster-than-light travel, discovered they were small fish in a vast ocean. They learned their place. They accepted the hierarchy. "But not humans," Leon said slowly, beginning to understand. "But not humans," Elsa confirmed. She moved to the viewport, her crystalline form reflecting and multiplying the starlight. "Do you know what the Assembly's first analysis of humanity concluded?" "Dangerously curious, prone to examining things that should be left alone, likely to cause problems." "That sounds about right," Leon admitted. 3 cycles ago, our medical technology had remained unchanged for 10,000 years. Stagnant, perfect. Why improve perfection?" Elsa's voice carried something that might have been bitterness. "Then a human doctor named Chen examined one of our wounded and said, 'I can fix this, but I need to understand why your cells do that weird thing.' Within 6 months, she had revolutionized Valerian medicine. We've saved millions." Leon felt something shift in the conversation. This wasn't just small talk. "The Korthax have been mining the same asteroids for 15,000 years, Elsa continued. "A human engineer spent 2 weeks with them and redesigned their entire extraction process. They've tripled their output. The Centauri had been fighting a plague for centuries. Incurable, they said. A human virologist named Rodriguez looked at it and said, 'Have you tried this?' It worked. So this is a recruitment pitch?" Leon asked carefully. Elsa turned back to him, and her alien features somehow conveyed profound seriousness. "This is a warning. There are factions in the Assembly that fear humanity. Not because you're aggressive, there are far more warlike species. Not because you're technologically superior. You're actually behind most civilizations. They fear you because you refuse to accept that anything is impossible." Leon's hand unconsciously moved to his neural interface. "The limitations we haven't accepted yet." "Exactly." Elsa's crystalline hand, if it could be called a hand, gestured at her own form. "You spent 47 seconds studying me, and I could see it in your eyes. You weren't admiring or afraid. You were problem-solving. How does this work? How could we replicate it? What could we learn? Is that a bad thing?" "That depends." Elsa moved closer again, and Leon realized how truly alien she was, and yet how he'd already started categorizing, analyzing, understanding. "The Assembly has existed for 3 million years. It's stable, peaceful, unchanging. Humanity has been spacefaring for 30 years, and you've already begun destabilizing everything." "Sorry?" Leon offered weakly. Elsa's laugh rang out again. "Don't be. Some of us have been waiting for someone like you. Do you know how boring eternity becomes when nothing ever changes? When every question has been answered, every mystery solved? But you just said we're causing problems. The best kind of problems." Elsa's form seemed to shimmer with something that might have been excitement. "Here's what the fearful factions don't understand. Humanity's greatest strength isn't your intelligence or your technology. It's that you look at the impossible and shrug. Impossible just means nobody's figured it out yet, you say. Then you get to work. Leon looked out at the assembled alien ships, seeing them differently now, not as advanced civilizations, but as cultures that had stopped asking questions. So what happens now? Now? Elsa's smile was back, mysterious and gleaming. Now you go back to Earth and you tell them what I've told you. The galaxy thinks it has seen everything, learned everything, achieved everything. You're going to prove them wrong. That's a lot of pressure. You'll barely notice it, Elsa said confidently, because you'll be too busy being fascinated by the next impossible thing you want to understand. It's just how humans are built. Leon looked at her crystalline form one more time, his mind already racing with questions, possibilities, theories. She was right, he realized. He couldn't help himself. For what it's worth, he said, I really do like your body. Professionally speaking. Elsa's laughter followed him all the way back to the human quarters, and Leon found himself smiling too. Humanity was about to shake up a 3 million-year-old galactic order. Typical Tuesday, really.